Do you know how rude that sounds? Do you know how stupid you sound? Like, that literally, you just sound so stupid. Today's video are gonna be a few little stories about times that I've been clocked or people have been rude to me because I'm trans. If you don't know what clocked means basically when someone can tell that you're trans. You should subscribe to my channel. Anyway, let's get right into it. Let's just start from like the beginning of my transition and a few of those times that really stick out in my head. It isn't necessarily a time that someone clocked me. It was a time where someone gave me a lot of difficulties for being trans, basically. I was going out to the club with my friends. It was the summer right after high school. I was 18 years old. I had just gotten some long extensions, so my hair was probably to like here. I was doing the absolute most. I think I was wearing like an Adidas like zip up jacket. My boobs were probably like pushed up to my collarbone. Like I was probably wearing like a waist trainer and some like skirt or like leggings. Like I was literally doing the absolute most. And so obviously you have to show your ID to get in the club. So we're standing outside and there's like a bouncer right there and he's checking everyone's IDs. And I think I was with 3 other girls. So I got up there and I hadn't changed my ID yet. Like I hadn't changed the picture or anything on it. So it was a picture from 2 years prior when I was 16 years old and a boy. And so I show him my ID and he like looks at my ID, then he looks at me, then he looks at my ID, and then he looks at me and he goes, "This isn't you." And I was like, "No, like I swear to God, like please don't do this. Like it's me. All my friends have already gotten checked. Like they were all fine." I was like, "No, like I promise it's me. Like please don't do that." He's like, "No, it's not you." My friend was standing next to me and she was like, "No, like it's her." And he's like, "I just don't believe this. Like this makes no sense." I was like, "I promise it's me. Like I have the same face. Like everything else has changed. Like my face has changed like a sliver." I was like, "I swear it's me. Like it's me, it's me, it's me." He's like, "I just don't believe you." So then he calls over 2 other bouncers slash security guards. And there's 3 like 6'4" like big men huddling over my ID and they're all looking at it and then looking at me and looking at it and looking at me. And it was the most fucking mortifying thing. And I was like, "It's me. Like ask me any of the information on the ID. Like I know. Like why would I be using a fake ID of a man to get into a club if it was like my brother or something? Like wouldn't I think that they would notice it's a complete different gender? Like obviously I'm not trying to like finesse my way in here. Like this is my ID." My friend literally stepped in and she was like, "It's her. Like please just stop this. Like this is so embarrassing." Like people behind us were like, "What's going on?" The people in front of us that were like waiting in the door area were like, "What's going on?" Like it was just so embarrassing and I was like completely mortified. So after that night I went to the DMV, I got my photo retaken and like took care of that. So it never has happened since. So these next 2 stories are from the past year and a half-ish. I've been working at the place that I work now. I work in retail. You obviously deal with a lot of people on a daily basis. So when I first started working, I was still in training. I was behind the register, like learning what's going on. And I was training with another person that worked there and they were super, super nice. So we got this one customer and she comes in. I think I'd been working there for maybe a week at this point, if that. I think it might have been like my 3rd shift. This lady comes up and she is looking at me and she goes, she looks me up and down just like that. She goes, "So you used to be a man, right?" And I was like, yeah. Like I did not know how to answer that and I didn't know what to do because at this point I'd been on hormones for a year at this point. So I was just completely mortified. Like that misgender, those types of questions, getting clocked, like didn't really happen to me as frequently. Like the 2 original stories were from like the beginning of my transition. This was like a year and a half ago. Like I don't know, like I never got that stuff anymore. Like that just never happens to me. And she goes, "Oh, okay." And like started to talk about like really inappropriate things and started asking me really inappropriate questions. And basically was like, "Yeah, I could tell." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then the person that was training me just walked away. They literally just walked away and left me with this customer and I did not know what to do. I felt my heart beating. I felt my face getting red. I could feel me sweating. I barely even knew how to use the register, and they just like left me. I was so embarrassed. I just like didn't know what to do. She was asking me, and she's like, "Do you want to know how I could tell?" And I was like, "How?" She's like, "Honestly, because you have no butt." She's like, "Usually women have a lot more shape than you do." I was like, okay. Like, I didn't know what to say to that. And that statement in itself was so untrue because it annoys me so much because I was wearing a maxi dress that went down to my ankles with a cardigan on top of it that went down to the back of my knees, okay? And my hair was down. Like, I don't know. Like, my boobs weren't out. Nothing was form-fitting. Everything was very loose. And the fact that she said that I had no shape, well, girl, you couldn't even tell my shape because I'm wearing, like, baggy clothes. Like, that makes no sense. She was just so rude and didn't understand that she was being rude, and I didn't know how to handle it, and I should have handled it completely different. Fast forward a year. So this fall, her first situation happened in fall of 2017. So fall of 2018, I'm working, I'm doing my thing, and obviously I'm in a very different place. I'm a lot more secure in my job. I know exactly what I'm doing. I deal with customers all the time. And she comes up. I didn't even realize that it was her. I literally didn't even realize it was her. I'm like, "Hey, how can I help you?" Like, da-da-da-da-da, going through our normal, like, things, you know? And she goes, "Oh, you're the transgender one, right?" And I was like, no. I was like, I'm handling this way differently than I handled it before. So this time, I go, "Honestly, I think that it's an inappropriate question. If you have any questions based on the store or our products, I would love to answer those for you." And she was like, "Well, it doesn't matter because last time I was here, you told me." And I was like, "Okay, but if you have any further questions for me, I would like them to be about the store and not about me personally." And she's like, "Well, I don't know why you're getting so defensive. It doesn't matter." I just don't feel comfortable with that. And she's like, "Well, the only reason I'm asking is because I have someone that's transgender in my family." And I was like, okay, and what? Like, what does that do for you? I've gotten that so many times. It's like, okay, cool. Do you know how rude that sounds? Do you know how stupid you sound? Like, that literally, you just sound so stupid. Don't do that. If you're friends with a trans person, if you have a trans person in your family, if you're married to someone trans, like, I literally don't care. Never say that. It's so disrespectful. It's so rude. It's just, it's the worst. And I was like, I honestly think that the person in your family would even think that this is disrespectful. And it really shut her down. So, the last situation I'm going to talk about, this happened like within the past 2 weeks, I would say. I was going to like a Dollar General, dollar store, Family Dollar, whatever they're called, you know? I go in, I know the people that work there, they're always very, very nice. They're always great, you know? And I grabbed my items, and I was, you know, rushing in and out, and I was waiting for the people in front of me, and I was just like scrolling through on my phone, like sending a text or whatever, like just doing my thing. I wasn't being disrespectful. I said hi to the woman. That was it. Like, I wasn't carrying conversation with her. I wasn't chit-chatting. Like, I was on my phone while she was ringing stuff out. I didn't have a long time. I was trying to do a bunch of stuff at once. So she goes, "Oh, are you paying cash or card?" And I said, "Card." So I put my card in the machine. I didn't know, apparently, that when you pay at certain places, I guess the name pops up on, like, the screen. I didn't know that. And so she looks at me, and she looks me up and down. She goes, "Oh, so Joseph, you look really, really pretty today." It just, like, caught me by surprise because I was like, wait, like, I haven't heard that name since I was like a kid, you know? And granted, I should be getting my name change done. I'm just like lazy and I just need to do it. I was just so taken back by that, and I was like, what? She's like, "Oh, so are you just like grabbing some snacks, Joseph?" And I was like, yeah. And, like, I just didn't know what to say because didn't know how she knew my name. I didn't know that when you put your card in the thing, I guess it shows up on their screen. Like, I literally just didn't know. She goes, "Okay, so do you want your receipt, Joseph?" And I was like, no. And there was customers behind me. There was customers walking around the store, and she was being so disrespectful to me. And like, obviously she knew that that wasn't the proper name to call me. And also, what if that was like my boyfriend's card? Or like my dad's card? Like, what? Like, I just don't know. Like, that was just so rude. And then as I was leaving the store, walking to the door, I was literally walking to the door, and she yells,
"Bye, Joseph. Have a good day."
I was like, oh my God. I just felt my skin turning red. I felt me sweating, and I felt my heart like beating really fast. And I was just laughing. Like, I was so caught off guard and so just taken by surprise. All I could literally do was just laugh. And I was so embarrassed because there was other customers around. There was other people around, and I was just so embarrassed. We ended up speaking to the manager of that location and letting them know what happened, because he's the sweetest man, and he's the best. And I just think that it was so outrageous that that lady did that to me, and it was so disrespectful and uncalled for, and just, it was absolutely disgusting. Obviously, there has been other situations throughout my transition of what I'm going on 3 years now, 3.5 years, that have happened, but these are the major ones that have really stuck out to me. So I wanted to share these with you guys. I know a lot of trans girls watch my videos, and I truly just want to like show that like getting misgendered and getting clocked and that type of stuff happens, and people are just rude and they're disrespectful. But honestly, at the end of the day, society has come such a long way, and it's come such a long way even in the time that I've transitioned in the past 3 years, which is amazing. You know, as society, we're getting a lot more inclusive and tolerable and understanding of different groups of people and people that are different, which I think is just, it's a beautiful thing, you know? I just wanted to share and put all aspects of being trans. You know, being transgender is about a lot more than just appearing as a female. It's a lot more than makeup and hair and clothing and fun and boys and whatever else, or women, whatever you're into, whatever floats your boat. But I just kind of wanted to share that because, you know, there's a lot of downsides to it too, and there's a lot of things you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and some deal with it more than others, and that's totally okay. But I just want to show all aspects and just be as real as possible on this channel. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.